In this video, we're installing the TDS GTN 750. So this comes in as a new device. What's really cool about these products is they run outside of the sim. Now they've been working on some stuff to show it inside the sim in the virtual cockpit. I actually don't care. I've always wanted this outside of the sim to save on resources. This is going to help with our real sim gear, GTN 750, which we've had. Loved using it through the years with the Reality XP with my P3D. However, one of the things I always wanted was it to be running outside. And even with this one, it would be way better if it could run on a separate network computer, because again, it offloads even another video display away from this main PC. This is still one step up in the way I want things to run, which is outside of the sim, so that they can use their own dedicated process and not be consuming frames from the main sim. What you see here is that when you purchase the software from TDS, they give you a TDS GPS manager. So that's what you download. You log into it with your username and password, and then from within it, you download your files. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to download and install the TDS. So it installed it successfully, and yep. So we're going to go ahead. We got that. We're installed. We're going to hit close. All right, so we're back in the sim, and here you can see as we're doing the start from the runway, the TDS unit has our position and it's showing us taxiing out onto the runway. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and we will hop on in, and we're going to use the 750 for all this, and we're going to see what all we can accomplish. So before we get going, we should probably make this, we'll make this a little bit bigger, easier for everybody else to see. But yeah, so you've got all your controls. It's all touchscreen based, but there are knobs on the GTN 750. But at this point, we're not going to use the knob. What we're going to do is just use the touchscreen. We haven't programmed the knobs yet. We just want to get this going, see what it's like to use this inside of the sim. So we might as well start off. We're going to build a flight plan. We're at CYOW. We're going to head to CYRP. Carp, perfect. And we're going to select carp. Oh yeah, so we're going to hit this. We're going to load a procedure. We're going to do a, we'll set up our departure. Whoops, sorry. We're going to set up our approach into there. And we're going to do the RNAV 10. And we're going to start that from ESRUV. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to load that approach. And that is good for us. Now, what we want to be able to do is we want to go to ESRUV first. So we're going to insert before. And we're going to go to ESRUV. Oh, this is working exactly how it should. And let's look to get to ESRUV. Let's do 3000. Wow, we can even set up our, of course, it doesn't like that. We'll figure out why it doesn't like that for the VNAV afterwards. So first, let's go ahead and set up our departure procedure. So our departure, we're taking off of 25, and it's the CYOW 4 departure because there's only one. We're going to go ahead, we're going to load that departure. And yeah, there you go. Everything is inside of there. The touchscreen works great with this. It's going to be super easy to deal with. And if we change that to 2000, it's probably going to be okay with it. just because of some of those. But we don't care. That's about VNAV, and VNAV is not the thing that we are concerned with at this time. So that's it. We've got our approach loaded. Let's change ourselves to 2347 altitude reporting. Hit enter. And if we look into the sim and we look at our transponder 2347, it's all in there. So now ironically, we changed this to altitude reporting. And it seems like the sim is turning it back to standby mode. If we come in here and we change to altitude reporting from in here, that is good to go. So not sure why inside of here we can't get the altitude reporting to turn on from there. But that is okay. We are in ground mode, so it recognizes that, so that's great. So let's go ahead and let's get ourselves into the air. So we're on vectors, and we can see our vectors flying the runway heading. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say, all right, we're going to go up to 2,000. And we're going to do it with flight level change. And we'll do that with 105. Sure. So flight level change. We're going to go with... whoops. Heading select. Realistically, that's where we should be. So of course, you don't see it on the MFD. Not that you would. All right, let's go ahead and get the autopilot on. We'll let it pitch for speed. There's the command bars, and it will sort itself out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull back the throttle a little bit. So it looks like we want to go to Ezra first, obviously. So let's go into our flight plan. And let's now highlight Ezra. And let's activate leg. Vectors to Ezra. Okay. And now, why can't we do direct to? Oh, because I haven't programmed the direct to button. It's going to take us to the vectors point. Obviously, we can't go direct at this moment. We'll need the button for that. It's funny because in the 375s, when you click on this, you would actually be able to direct to from here in it. It's funny, it's just not available. That's the difference between those softwares. There is a slight difference. Anyway, digressing, we see that we are, if we go to our map, we're approaching it. So we're going to go into nav mode. We're going to make sure we toggle the GPS. And we're going to go into nav mode. Well, there you go. It's feeding it the data. That would be the jittery stuff that they talk about, saying that in the turns can be a little jittery. Apparently they'll smooth that out with help, I guess, from the sim. I think these are some of the things that Jean-Luc from Reality XP was talking about as well in some of his comments, having to do with how they do autopilot stuff. It's just not at that level. But here, as we look, if we zoom in, It's not on the course at the moment, and so it seems to be a little jittery back and forth. Yeah, and so if we turn on the wind, we can also see the wind. So the wind is coming from our right. So for the wind correction, and so it just creeps its way over just a little bit, gets itself on the magenta line. Yeah, I mean it's doing its thing. So we got topo terrain. We could disable charts so we don't see the chart. Low airways, right? High, low, off. So we're going to use low because this traffic is on. We could enable terrain if we wanted. We can set up our user fields. We can set up our map, track up all the information. So this works just like the real GTNs, which is really cool. So for now, let's just pop out and we can see that we're headed over there to start from Ezrov. So we'll check back in as we get closer to Ezrov to start the RNAV 10. All right, so it got it here and it decided it was going to swing back because we have not gone and activated our approach. So that's good. It's doing what it should have done, which is transition from Ezrov with a turn back, and it was calculating the efficiency for the turn back to carp. So now we're going to turn back. And yeah, you can see that jittery, that just shaking as it's trying to figure out. Obviously, it's doing some kind of like step heading and doing something. But hey, it's working. Of course, in our HSI, we're not seeing the purple needles giving us our course to Ezrov. And that is because, well, the sim's not actually getting the data, meaning that HSI can't display it because it doesn't know, it's not being written to. So that's another piece in this TDS implementation. Again, a bunch of the stuff that Jean-Luc was talking about with Reality XP about SDK connectivity. So it's a little bit of one, little bit of the other as to getting our HSI to be displaying that we are on the track and that our track is straight ahead. So here we're 2,000 into ICAC. And so if we enable approach mode, I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, approach mode is enabled. And it's curious because it's now saying roll mode for the autopilot, but we have approach mode enabled. It's just the PFD of the G1000 doesn't have an intercept, so it doesn't know.
Vertical track.
Now we're being told we've got the vertical track. It's kind of cool to hear that. But why I'm only hearing it in my left ear, definitely need to figure that out. So not below 2,000 feet. Yeah, it doesn't matter what the CDI says. It's in GPS mode.
Vertical track.
And it told us vertical track again. 1800 at Maturu. So top of descent we're coming up on, as we can see. We're crabbed into the wind. It's a crosswind. A little bit of a tail, but we can fly it. Okay, so we're pitching. It looks like we're on the glide slope. So this does have a LNAV plus V, so there is a vertical guidance. I mean, that looks bang on. It's flying it. So we are flying the LPV. Well, LNAV plus V, but close enough. It's doing it. It is flying it. 500 feet above. It's
500.
And I get 500 in my ear. I mean, that's flying it down. All right, autopilot's out. I would say that that did it.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, retard.
Wow. Squirrely. All right. Well, remain suspended. We're on the ground. So there you have it. The TDS is actually remarkably pretty good. Well, why don't we go over here and I don't know. Seems like they set it up that the FBO's over here. I don't think they know what's what in CARP. I guess we can go park over here at the EAA. Seems to have been torn down. It's gone. Where'd it go? Okay, well, I think that shows us what we can do currently with the Garmin Trainer added on. I think it's fantastic because it's running outside of the sim, so it fits in nicely, doesn't consume any frames per second. Obviously, there is a lot of room for improvement, and I totally understand and respect that it's going to take a lot of effort to improve the SDK to give them the things they need. So with that, I think we will we'll cut this one to an end. Thanks a lot for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't, subscribe, because on the next one, we're going to configure the real SimGear buttons via spad.next to control the TDS GTNXi. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.